So I just read your statement to our viewers and our listeners,
Okay.
where you highlight some concerns, and the most important amongst them for me is your call on the government to speedily resolve all issues with the lecturers. But before we dive into the concerns therein, how's campus?
Campus is directionless.
Directionless.
Yes. There's no direction, no purpose. There's nothing going on. Students are just there. They're like water without containers. Basically, students are just roaming around. Those who play Jama are doing so. Those jumping up and down are doing so. In fact, there is nothing purposeful going on campuses across the country. And it's a sad situation.
It's interesting the picture you paint for us, that students are on campus and all they're doing is sharing Jama and aimlessly going about. But you would expect that being at the tertiary institution would impose on you some discipline.
Yeah, that's true. But if the lecturers are not there to do anything, what else do you expect students to do? They don't have course outlines. Especially the first years, don't know what they are expecting in the semester. So even if they sit down, what are they going to learn? What are they going to follow? There's no course outline. There are no references given to anybody. So they are just walking around. We as GRASAG, we are actually backing UTAG in their call for government to adhere to and go on with their agreement that they've had with UTAG. We are not saying that UTAG is asking for any ridiculous thing or asking anything extraordinary from government. All that they are saying is that government has had an agreement with UTAG, and just go by your agreement. How difficult is this? You have had an agreement with UTAG some time ago, and so just remit your agreement to the lecturers so they go back to the classroom. We believe that there is only one party in this whole field that has the potential, the ability, and what it takes to call off this strike, and that is government. And that will only happen when government does what it has to do for the lecturers to go back to the classroom.
Do you think we've done enough so far?
Well, we are still on. We are still on, and we're hoping that government will listen to us, will take heed to our call, and then make sure that they get the lecturers what they've been asking for so they can go back to the classroom.
Let's go back to campus and let's have an appreciation of the impact of all that is happening on you, be it your social life, be it your academic life, whatever it is. How does this impact on you as students?
Of course, as students, we want to complete school. There are people in the final year who will have to complete school. But with this delay, it means that some time will have to be added or something. Some sort of work will need to be cut off, or by whatever way, the student stands at the extreme end, the suffering end. And whatever government has with UTAG, students don't have much to do about it, but we are the ones suffering. You see, people have come to school and there is no academic schedule. They don't have any plan. Nobody is telling them what is going to happen. Nobody tells them whether the lecturers are going to call off the strike or not. And they are just there. You see, and so students are really, really, in fact, if I should tell you, students are very, very unhappy with what is going on. Our students are
Unhappy
really,
with who?
especially with government's refusal, if I will put it that way, government's refusal to heed to the lecturers' call and demand so that they can go back to the classroom. We are not just, if you look at our release very carefully, we are passionately calling on government to adhere to what the lecturers are asking for, because we know that government has what it takes to get the lecturers back to the classroom. But on the other hand, also, we are appealing to the lecturers to go back to the classroom. But we know very well that the major onus lies on the government to do what the lecturers are asking for. So for the lecturers' side, we think that though they may want to consider what we are saying, but the chunk of the action is not from their side, it's rather from government side. And so if students are unhappy, they are not unhappy with lecturers, they are unhappy with government. So government will have to do what is right so the lecturers can go back to the classroom for academic work to resume.
Are we not mounting undue pressure on government, seeing that the world economies are on their knees, seeing that as we speak now, there's an e-levy which is being sensitized so that people would get the concept for government to even gain revenue for government business. If government is going to pay the lecturers, it will be from the revenue that they generate. Is it not obvious that we don't have what it takes to meet the demands of the lecturers?
I don't think so.
Why?
Because as far as I am concerned, one time ago, my senior housemaster has a saying, where there is a will, there is a way. So if government really wants to take into consideration what the lecturers are asking for, government will find a way of doing it. Really? Government will always find it. I don't want to even talk about the e-levy yet, but I do think that government has what it takes to adhere or listen to the calls of the lecturers. And so they should just have to do that. They just have to do that so the lecturers can go back to the classroom.
Do you foresee this matter being resolved so as the schools would not be shut down? Do you see that happening?
Well, picking from Vaura's point, Vaura says government lacks the commitment, you see, and that is our worry, that we are not seeing the commitment from the side of government. Let's hear something from the government that, oh, we have heard you, we will do this and this and this and this. But government over the period has been silent, and that is our worry. So with this silence from government, we don't know whether they are going to heed or not, but we are just hoping that government will listen and then do the right thing so the lecturers go back to the classroom to avoid schools being closed down.
What would it mean for the schools to be shut down? Holding all other things equal, that we were not able to come to a consensus and so schools have to be shut down. What would it mean for a student, a regular student?
We don't pray it gets there. We pray it doesn't get there. But if it happens, it has a lot of consequences. People are doing their research work and it will come to a halt. Those who have to graduate will have to shift their graduation to another time. Those undergraduates who have one internship or the other, there are a lot of things that if universities are shut down now will come to a limbo, and we are hoping that it doesn't get there. We just want to see government commitment to end this impasse. And I just hope that government does what is right so the lecturers go back to the classroom. That has been our call, and it remains our only message. Government knows what is right. They should just do it so the lecturers go back to the classroom.